Good day, everybody. We are here again in Startup and Innovators on the Atlanta Discuss channel. Yes, we have another good guest. He's not new in the real sense of the Startup and Innovators. As a guest, I'm sure this should be his fourth or fifth time here. But then, he is an innovator. He's an inventor. He's a startup. Is why I call him a startup is that he's always starting something. He's not new to starting up things. He has ideas. I'm sure by the time we end this discussion, he'll probably start something else tomorrow. And the good thing about him is that he doesn't just start those projects, he always finishes it. That's why today we're talking to Ambima Buzhyason. Ambima, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Fantastic. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. So good, good. The times are good, So we have
Yeah.
to, yeah, there's AI, technology everywhere, innovation. We've had the last 7 guests we've had, about yeah, 7, 8 guests were from Brazil. I didn't know we had so many Nigerians in Brazil doing masters, PhD in animal husbandry, biodegradable related issue, languages. It's interesting. But you're here again, and you're not new. You're Abima. A lot of you that have seen him in the past knows that it's ex-Columbia University, ex-University of Missouri, Western Governors, North Central University, biology minor, experimental molecular pathology, etc., etc. He has quite a number of patents. We've all heard about Nosemic in the past, the wristband you wear in your hand that tells your blood sugar, that's in production fully now. That's part of something we might end up talking about today. But today, why is Abima here? I want to talk about Pirate.ai. We've discussed it,
Yes.
but it has gotten to another level now. So that's why we'll start with the first question I asked you, your newly launched platform, that's the Pirate AI. It's been described as revolutionary in identity theft protection, by so many people that have seen it already. So what problem are you trying to solve with that existing cybersecurity solution, with the whole concept, that what I try to solve with it, that cybersecurity has not been able to provide solution. What is different about Pirate AI? Over to you.
Well, it's you mentioned something very curious earlier, which
Mhm,
is that we're at an age where we have a lot of our information's out there, right?
mhm,
AI presents some great opportunities, but it also presents a lot of
mhm,
uh, technical and logistical challenges when it comes to information security.
mhm,
Now, having a system that is capable of thinking on its own,
mhm,
and people are so enthralled and enthused by it. Now, the difference is people are not thinking actively about the cybersecurity and how powerful we're making these companies that create these platforms.
mhm,
Now, what I mean by that is that you see, having we people would share everything about them, like they're in the bathroom, their bedroom, everything. People are just sharing things online. Now, the difference with those things is all of those information is being captured, and the old saying is anything online doesn't really go away,
mhm,
and that's true. It can just be
mhm.
put in, recalibrated from one form to another. Right? So what we do in terms of our ability to help people take control of their personally identifiable information, we focus on that niche is important. It's because if a person wants to do anything,
Mhm,
they will focus on those things as your personally identifiable information, such as your name,
mhm,
your home address, your date of birth, your relatives, your
mhm,
family, all of those things. Those are the key things that they can use to trace you.
mhm.
So what Pirate does is that we take those information and try to basically find a way to encrypt them and most importantly, remove them from databases that shouldn't have them.
Oh, wow. So,
So
so you are
there's
like
not
a
only
nothing,
just a
you are not like nothing antivirus, Avast, and
yeah.
yeah.
So the difference between something like Pirate and antivirus is antivirus helps protect your local computer. We
Mhm,
go out there and find databases that you see. You can't control what's not in your computer with an antivirus.
mhm,
You can't send an antivirus out there to look at Google databases and search results and de-index you. we can de-index your information, meaning when people do the search result, those things don't pop up. So also the difference between what we do versus an antivirus. An antivirus is useful because it does protect your personal devices, but it can only work on your personal device.
Okay.
Now, any information outside of those things, those cannot do.
Oh,
So
wow.
what Pirate does is we go out there, find your information, and in some cases legally submit the forms for you so that they can automatically opt you out. And it's not only just that. One thing that sets up Pirate is that we have depth. So there are more than 3,200 databases in our system. Now, things like Delete Me and other privacy protection services may say, oh, we get you to 250 or 350 or at most maybe 750. We take you to more than 3,200 databases. And it's not just one place. We're in 175 countries
Oh,
globally. And
wow.
we are live on Google. And I will, if you don't mind, I will share the link here actually. And when you give me the opportunity, you can
No, no,
see
no.
people can actually,
Go ahead.
yeah. So Pirate is also rated safe by the rating agency. We're rated E for everyone,
Mm,
and Pirate is on Google Play. You can see it here, Pirate Elite,
mm,
and this is our symbol. People can see it anywhere. You can download it.
mm.
It's been tested and approved by anyone that has Google. We're also working for the Apple approval process. Is still in review.
Mm,
Once it's approved, that's also people that use Android and iOS systems can have access to Pirate.
mm.
And Pirate is such a very intuitive system. It doesn't require, we don't store your information. That's another thing that sets it apart.
Okay.
Most places that require you to do a lot of things such as, sign up and do all, you can use Pirate without even signing up. And if you choose to sign up, that's okay. We also, when we run your system, we actually at the end we have a scrubbing software. It scrubs your data from our system afterwards. That's another way to protect you. That's an added layer of protection that I don't see anyone like Delete Me or other privacy protection agencies doing. Another thing is it results are really fast because we are actually connected to a quantum computer.
Mm,
So a lot of these things happen in less than 30 seconds. Now, it doesn't mean that we don't take longer or do the other processes. Yes, majority of your data processes will happen right away, but most importantly,
mhm,
with Pirate, you don't just get the results done, but you also get a link, an email with literally how to track and the progress of everything that's happening. And I will show you that in a minute. But while I do that, I'm going to stop sharing, but I will kind of just demonstrate how that works.
Interesting.
Um,
Mm,
in a minute, I will take you to the link so you can see it. So Pirate makes it a lot easier for anyone to use our system, but most importantly, it also tells you where we are removing your information from and how far the process we've been.
Oh, wow. Now, this is purely your brainchild, correct? Your idea, your
Yes,
concept, and your
build from scratch.
yeah,
Yep,
from
build from
scratch.
scratch,
Your innovation,
custom.
you built it, you implemented, and so on and so forth. Wow.
Have it tested, have it reviewed by team in Google, and as I said, we're in 175 countries. You can download us not just in the US, anywhere, those countries, and we're rated E for everyone, which is the safest rating you
Mhm.
can get of any app.
Wow.
Most apps will have, rated for adult or age restrictions because of the type of data that's exposed, but we are rated as E for everyone.
Interesting. Well, you personally to venture into, I mean, digital identity protection and cybersecurity innovation? What's your major source of inspiration?
Well, the thing that is an inspirational thing about it is actually I was working on some projects, and then one of my friends was like, I searched myself, all of my life history is out there. I can see my previous addresses and everything. I was like,
Mhm.
yeah, that is, and he's like, you've been building all these systems. Why can't you look into this? And I have actually started building it before he even mentioned it. Uh, and and then I was like, I'm actually working on it. He's like, "Can I be your first customer?" And that's how we basically got started.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So the thing is, these things are designed so that the systems are there to take information, and information is money, is power. Companies use them on a day-to-day basis. They will pay money for them.
Mm,
Your medical information. I mean, one thing I wanted to say, kudos to Ghana. Ghana refused to sell its medical data in to get money for medical
mm,
things from the US.
mm,
Now, those things people may not see it as valuable, but to those who know what its importance are, it's
mm,
very valuable data. Right. So those things are very important. Your information is precious
mm,
and it may not give you money, but it's precious. And for people who gather those things, they make money off it.
mhm. That's
So,
true. Okay, so let's look at AI.
so,
Okay.
so this is Pirate. Like you see, I shared with you, I didn't want to share from how the email got. So you get
Okay.
receive an email with
Mhm.
the progress report. You click on the link and it tells you where the
Okay.
progress is.
Oh,
So
wow.
everything is done. So, and then you can see also from where those emails removals were done from. So
Mhm.
you can actually see, as I said,
Wow.
we're global. You see
Wow.
sites with Ghana, business directory,
My
sites like
wow.
UK, Saudi.
Yellow South Africa,
Yeah.
Bahrain,
So,
Yellow Pages, Reddit.
yeah.
Wow. Wow.
So when I say we are global, I mean we are global.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. With AI becoming more powerful, cyber criminals are even getting more sophisticated. So what is Pirate doing to mitigate against these modern criminals?
Well, actually, Pirate has AI systems and platforms included in our database, such as Claude,
Mhm.
ChatGPT, Gemini, all of those. And other lesson on AI platforms in other countries, in China, in Europe, and other places. We take it as a very important process that those places gather your information, right? They store in them, and AI systems only access what is available to them. They can try to fabricate, but fabricated data is not your data. But your original data, we can still opt you out of those things cleanly. We can still get your account deleted, your personal information removed from their system and platforms.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So I noticed that beyond Pirate, you have so many other stuff you have done. I mean, I'm looking here. I said beyond Pirate AI, I've also introduced several groundbreaking products under the Nosemic Group umbrella. What is the broader vision behind the group? I know you've done the handband, the wristband for checking all that. There are some things you have some patents that have not even gone to production at all. You understand that they're just sitting there. So what's
Yeah.
what what's the broader vision for the
Well, well, one thing I always like to say is that I want to create
Mm,
a legacy.
mm,
My main push for these things is to
mm,
give people the agency, especially our African brothers and people who may be at the other end of history where you're looking at yourself and maybe I don't have all the money, I don't have all the tools, all things like that. Now, innovation is everywhere. I believe it's a human God-given talent,
mm,
and and so because of that, we need to find ways to nurture it, and it takes courage. It takes a lot of dedication and work.
mm,
So the goal of all of my work is to really make life easier for anyone who use our products,
mm,
whether you're using it to protect your personal information, like your personally identifiable information, date of birth, Google search results that people could use to find things that maybe are not so savory about yourself. And, people shouldn't have access to that without the proper documentation. If it's a legal warrant, then this makes sense, but not anyone who just wants to find out, bad information should do.
mm,
So those are some of the things that we want to kind of help achieve. But most importantly, with our nosemic wing for the medical devices, we want to make medical decision making and data generation as well as diagnostics
mm,
a democratized system, meaning if you shouldn't die because a doctor in a village in Nigeria or anywhere couldn't get the right diagnosis on time and maybe didn't have the right tools. So my device systems are actually very easy to carry. This is one of my devices that you just saw.
Oh, wow.
And it measures blood sugar levels and testosterone hormones, all of those things instantaneously within 30 seconds. Now, so all of these things were still, of course, in production, in validation. We want to make sure that they're deployed anywhere. The reason why this is very useful is that this device here is a self-contained system,
Mm,
right? By being self-contained is that this device itself, it operates on a battery. You can charge it just like your phone, use it when for up to three and sometimes weeks
mm.
without recharging.
Wow.
So it's very useful in a place like somewhere in the third world or developing world. I don't even want to say the third world. I
Mhm.
would say developing countries because yes, we have challenges, but that doesn't make us less
Mm.
human. So I just want to help as much as I can and put our products anywhere that they're needed.
Okay, let's go back to
Yeah.
Pirate now. I mean, still
Yeah.
talking about developing countries. We do, let's call it third world.
Yeah.
Yeah, so many people in Africa and developing nations, they still underestimate, the cybersecurity risk in the world, and
Yes.
so how do you plan to drive awareness and adoption across what we'll call the emerging markets?
Yes, so if you look at the emerging markets, I mean, we still are hearing of, people uh, posting something on Facebook and then it's haunting them forever,
Mm,
sharing something and then the government is snooping in on you. I'm not saying we should have some sense of decorum, but personal information and data is still being exposed, whether you're in the emerging markets or you're in the most advanced countries.
mm,
Now, what really is needed is that awareness should be shared anywhere because
mm,
people that don't understand the power of the exposure that they're giving the companies and platforms there are more at risk of losing leverage on their data. Your
mm,
data could be harvested for all sort of nefarious purposes.
mm,
And the dark web and all of those things, people can sell them for means your image can be created. With AI systems, use your voice for anything. So there's a lot of power in the ability to take your digital information and transform it into something nefarious. Now, knowing those things is another. Making sure you take steps to protect yourself is completely a separate thing. And that's what we realize at the emerging age of AI. AIs are getting more powerful by the day,
mm,
and more people tend to use them and not understand the risk they're putting themselves in or their family. Because remember, your information can also expose your relatives.
mm,
Again, it's not just you that people think, oh, it's me, me. We have a me world, right? Great.
mm,
You're the star, you went viral, but then people can use that same viral video to trace out all of your lineage
mm,
and everyone related to you. And in the age of all of the security risk, especially like a country like Nigeria, I would say people should be a lot more careful
mm.
with what kind of information and take steps to protect themselves from cyber exposure. Absolutely.
So with Pirate AI, can you work with government? Say maybe the government of Ghana, Nigeria comes to you that, okay, we want you at the back end of all government emails, infrastructure, and all that. Is there a type of service you can render?
Yes, we can render services to protect, national security issues, but to be honest with you, most of my immediate knee-jerk response have mostly been protecting the little guy. Now, the underdog, the user, the common person.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't want to play prey and give, uh, big government tools to then use them as also, it's one thing what you create is a different thing to create something, how that can be used once it's no longer in your actual control can be a little bit scary. So personally, yes, we'll work with governments that want to maybe bolster their security for their own enterprise and government related things. But most of our work is really trying to help people just protect their information.
So anybody anywhere in the world can access a pirate.
In 175 countries, yes.
Oh, wow, that's quite.
Yes.
What's the cost implication for using Pirate AI?
So right now we're really thinking about those cost breakdowns, but right now it costs like with $29,
Oh,
a
wow.
person can basically get access to those 3,200,
Mm,
3,200 databases. Now, why is that important is again, as I said, there's no any system like Pirate in terms of the depth.
mm,
We have more databases than any other uh, privacy protection.
mm,
So these are our services. Nowadays, as you can see, the difference is not in the number of databases, it's priority processing. See, each one of this, and I created this equitable system for a reason. If you look here, everyone has access to the same number of databases, whether you pay 29 or
mm,
79 or 149.
mm,
Now, why do we want to do that? Because we don't want someone who use our system, get most of it done, and they're excited just to then realize that half of that was also not done. So when we do deliver, everyone gets on. The difference is
mm,
when you do the complete use, how many times we continue monitoring afterwards, and basically how fast your service is delivered. Now, it doesn't mean everyone that basically purchases this, their service starts instantaneously.
mm,
And it's the only thing that comes when there's, let's say, we have 100 orders at once. So
mm,
when our system queues them, it may prioritize someone that paid the higher price
mm,
for the next in line versus someone who pays this. But once you pay, you get immediate service delivery notification with a link for you to track, like I showed earlier.
mm. Interesting. So, I mean, I know this is not the only thing you do. Like I mentioned, you are very strong in the health area too. So that's why I'm asking that. What role does artificial intelligence play across your ecosystem of products, from
So
security to health? Well,
yes, so I would say AI is very integral to our system, but we also use AI cautiously. We use AI in a system that we have leverage.
mm,
So meaning that we don't try to let AI guide the product development, or we use AI as a support system. And we're also aware of AI's extensive reaches. So there are certain parts of our development that doesn't involve AI for those kind of reasons,
okay.
for
Uh,
security reasons. Now we use AI, for instance, in Pirate for our monitoring, because if you program AIs very much, it's very good for intuitive monitoring, so that they learn from those systems to make sure that your overall system is safe and your data is safe. So for our ongoing monitoring systems, we deploy AI systems to do so. But our AI is not like agentic AIs, like other things that will go on its own.
mhm,
No, no. Our AI uses like what's success areas where it found your data before. It uses this to learn and then take action in the monitoring process.
Interesting. So my observation is that, I mean, funding and scaling startup, as always remain major challenges, you understand? So what has been the toughest obstacle, when you talk about in bringing your revolutionary products to the market, what has been what has been pressing, So
Yeah.
from you.
Funding, as you mentioned, it is the main things, finding the right partnership and people that understand the product and also share your vision. That's another. But now the will to build is one thing.
Mhm,
But the biggest challenge is usually funding, and then the team that you have,
mhm,
whether they're supportive or teams that going to stick around when things go during the downturns.
mhm,
Every company goes through that. And whether you have your original team you start up with or not, you
mhm,
can tell your friends by who hangs around after everything is not working as intended. Right. And we've been through those phases, and I learn a lot from them. But the main issue is usually funding.
mhm,
With money, most people can basically work with you or for you.
mhm,
But and that's one of the things that I want you to shout out to. What you're doing is
mhm,
very important.
mhm,
Now, the difference is people that have reached out to me say, okay, we charge you this for this platform.
Mm.
You and I have been mostly working on this for free as a partnership, and I like that now. Doesn't My goal is as things get better, I'm going to reward you in a sense, which is to make sure that your system is safe. You get also the recognition for the service you're rendering.
Mm.
So all of those things are important to me. One hand washes another. You help when we need to get to the next point. We help when we are at that. And that's how we lift each other up. But a lot of the times it's this isolationist idea that, or we don't trust one another. Those things. So that's why the team you have, the kind of trust and build and mutual kind of respect you have for each other really matters in the process.
Interesting. Where do you see the Nosemic group in 5 years?
Well, I would say, all things being equal, we'll be selling a lot of medical devices to
Mm.
people.
That's good.
Yes,
Okay,
we
finally,
do have. Yeah, go
finally,
ahead.
there are a lot of young people in the continent of Africa, in Asia, in developing countries mostly, and it doesn't matter anywhere. I mean,
Yeah.
we have the coverage in a lot of the continents of the world. What message of hope do you have for them? I mean, some have already started and they're going through a lot of challenges. So, based on your experience, what you've encountered and all that, what message do you have for them?
Well, don't give up on your dreams. That's the first thing. And when one door closes, try to find and see if there's a window somewhere you can jump out of.
I love
And what?
I love that. I love
Yeah.
that.
So,
I agree with that. I love
uh,
what you do. I have to
uh,
say I admire it. I love it. I respect it. And I'm sure you're going to make a lot of money from it because you're consistent and you have a niche. You understand.
yeah,
Everything you produce is different from what has been there.
yeah.
You're bringing in something, but we need to let the world know who Ambima Buzhyason is. Thank you once again. And to all our watchers, wherever you may be, that's the man. Every information you need about the product and everything will be in the chat box as you watch. After you watch it, you get anything you need to know. So it's a wrap there. Thank you all.
Okay.
God bless you all. See you all next week. Bye.
All right. All right.